Heartwarming revelation, flight attendant exposes bias against black girl dad is airline owner. Mia stood at the entrance of the bustling airport, her heart racing as she clutched her father Calvin's hand. The terminals were alive, a cacophony of laughter, excitement, and murmured goodbyes. Families hugged tightly before parting, and Mia drank it all in, her dreams fluttering like the boarding passes swirling around. She longed to take flight, to soar above the clouds, and bridge worlds that seemed so far apart. But today, even amidst the joyful noise, a familiar ache gripped her chest, an exclusion she couldn't shake. As they walked, her excitement dipped when a group of girls from her school noticed her. They giggled, casting furtive glances in her direction. Their laughter felt like needles pricking her skin, and Mia lowered her gaze, heat rising to her cheeks. How could they assume so little of her just because of the color of her skin? Calvin glanced down, sensing her discomfort. He squeezed her hand reassuringly. Let them be, Mia. Remember, we earn our place in this world. But it was hard. She felt alone, a little bird at the edge of a crowd of vibrant, chirping sparrows. Just as despair began to settle in, a voice broke through her haze. Hey there. A flight attendant, Laura, beamed at her, her uniform crisp and professional. You look like you're dreaming of the sky. Mia blinked, a flicker of hope igniting in her heart. I want to be a pilot one day, she confessed. I want to connect people across the world. Laura's eyes sparkled. You can. You just need to believe in yourself. As they chatted, Laura's warmth enveloped Mia, soothing the sting of isolation. But just then, Mia's classmates, still boarding their flight, erupted into laughter, leaving her feeling raw and exposed. Laura's smile faltered, and a fire ignited within her. Was this what young girls faced every day? That night, after witnessing those cruel moments at the airport, Laura found herself restless. The words flowed from her fingers as she typed, exposing the prejudice she saw calling for attention and action. She shared her experience online, urging the world to acknowledge the injustices playing out even among the innocent. The post exploded, igniting discussions in communities far and wide. Meanwhile, Calvin learned of Mia's struggles and Laura's powerful message. A wave of uneasy realizations crashed over him. As he sat at the dinner table, the weight of it all pressed on him. He wanted to shield Mia from a world that might not understand her brilliance but feared that his silence would make the issue worse. He was caught between the desire to protect her and the obligation to face painful truths. The tension peaked at an upcoming community event where voices rose, hearts raced, and resolve hardened. Families gathered, the air thick with unresolved issues, and Mia, caught in the eye of the storm, felt the anticipation of change crackling like static electricity. This was her moment, a chance to fight together. Before we continue, I need to let you know about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, hit that bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can drop a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. As tensions erupted and passions flared, everyone felt the room pulse with intensity. Would Calvin put aside his fears and stand tall for Mia, the bright star struggling to shine in the shadows? What choice would he make, and could they emerge together into a brighter future? In this pivotal moment, the weight of community, love, and familial duty swirled around them, leaving the answers just out of reach. Mia stood at the edge of the crowd, her heart drumming in her chest as the community meeting unfolded before her. Faces she recognized were filled with passionate expressions, but there was something deeper brewing beneath the surface. This was more than just a gathering, it was a crossroads for everyone, especially for her and her father. Calvin's voice rose above the murmur, firm and clear. No one should ever feel less than because of the color of their skin. A wave of murmurs rippled through the audience. Mia felt a surge of pride, mixed with an anxious flutter. This was the man she had always looked up to. The owner of the airline and a successful figure, but now he became something more, a father determined to fight for his daughter's right to dream. Laura stood nearby, her presence igniting a spark of bravery in Mia's chest. She leaned closer to hear Laura rally the attendees. This isn't just about Mia. It's about every child who feels dismissed. We must lift our voices together. Her words struck like a match to gasoline, igniting the air with emotion. Mia looked around, noticing nods of agreement, even from some of the parents who had made her feel small. Were they finally listening? Could they see beyond their misconceptions? Mia felt a flicker of hope, yet doubt crept in. What if they didn't care after all? Calvin's gaze turned to Mia. You inspired me to speak. Speak your truth, sweetheart. His encouragement wrapped around her like a warm blanket. She realized this was her moment to add her voice to the growing chorus of change. Taking a deep breath, trembling slightly, she stepped toward the front. The crowd quieted, 100 eyes upon her. Hi, everyone. I'm Mia. And I want to say. I want to be a pilot. But sometimes it feels like people think I don't belong there. The words tumbled out, mingled with a rush of vulnerability. I know I can do it if you believe in me too. A hush fell, then a whisper of disbelief, and Mia's heart raced. Had she really dared to claim her space? Suddenly, Laura appeared at her side. Yes. You can, Mia. The uproar of support from Laura gave Mia the confidence to push forward. I'm tired of feeling like I have to prove myself because I look different, Mia continued. I want to be proud of who I am and what I can achieve, just like any other kid. Her voice faltered, but only for a moment. Slowly, clapping erupted in the crowd, growing louder, a tide of enthusiasm washing over her. Faces lit up with understanding, dads and moms alike nodding, perhaps recognizing their own biases and the need for change. For the first time, Mia felt like she was seen not simply as a black girl, but as a person with dreams. From the back, she heard her classmates beginning to cheer. It was a mixture of surprise and admiration, and it sent another ripple through her heart. As the meeting went on, Calvin joined her side, beaming with pride. Mia, I'm so proud of you. You found your voice. But in the back of her mind, a question lingered: would this truly spur the change she hoped for, or was this just the start of a long, challenging road? As the night drew on, Mia felt a spark igniting inside her. This was merely the beginning. A smile snuck onto her face filled with hope. She might have begun to carve her path, but challenges lay ahead, ones that would test her courage. Would her voice continue to resonate beyond this moment? And would her father's support grow stronger, even when struggles tested their resolve? The answers hung in the air, just waiting to unfold. Mia stood still, her heart racing as the crowd began to disperse. The echo of her words still hummed in her ears, each clap mixing with the adrenaline still coursing through her veins. She caught snippets of conversations as people milled about, the air humming with excitement and uncertainty. Did you hear her? Wow, she was amazing. Never thought about it that way. We need to do better. The murmurs wrapped around her like a comforting cloak. But she still felt a bittersweet tug in her stomach. Were they really going to change? Or was this just one moment in time, a fleeting spark that would get lost in the churn of daily life? Calvin walked beside her, a broad smile lighting up his face. See, sweetheart. You have a gift for words. Your voice matters. Mia's heart swelled at his praise, yet a tiny voice in her head whispered doubts. Dad, you really think they'll keep this fire alive? Or is it just the moment talking? Calvin paused, his smile faltering as he considered her words. Change doesn't happen overnight. It's a journey. But what you did today? That was the first step. Mia nodded, but something deeper troubled her. In these moments of hope, there also existed the weight of expectation. If they all believed in her, whom would she let down if she stumbled? Suddenly, Laura broke through the crowd, her face flushed with exhilaration. Mia. Did you see their faces? You changed something today. I hope so, Mia replied, the fragility of hope clashing against the possibility of disappointment. They were listening, Laura said, her voice radiant. You planted a seed. They're going to think about this, especially the parents of your classmates. The thought danced through Mia's mind. The idea that seeds could grow of change, of understanding. But how long would it take for those seeds to sprout? As they started to leave the meeting, Calvin looked at Mia with an intensity that made her skin tingle. You made an impression today, honey. And it's time to keep pushing. I want to organize something, a workshop maybe, something where more kids can share their dreams. Mia's heart fluttered. The idea of a workshop excited her. Yet, it also brought a wave of pressure. But won't people think it's forced? I mean, after one meeting change begins somewhere, her father interrupted gently. Don't second-guess your impact. Just imagine how many kids need to hear what you have to say. Determination ignited within her. Okay, let us do it. I want to reach as many kids as possible. Mia clasped Laura's hand tightly, her pulse quickening at the thought of not just her dreams, but the dreams of so many like her, waiting to be voiced. As they walked, the sun dipped low in the sky, casting a golden glow over the community center. But with the fading light came a sense of urgency. The world around her was buzzing with life, but still held shadows she knew too well. The importance of what lay ahead pressed down on her. At that moment, a sudden thought struck Mia, wild and electric. What if we created a video series? We could interview kids about their dreams, share our stories online. It could go viral. Calvin raised an eyebrow, a grin slowly returning to his face. That's brilliant, Mia. Let us talk about this more. But do you think you're ready for that? Mia didn't hesitate. More than ready. Yet, as the fire of ambition sparked anew, one last question echoed softly in her mind. Would her voice be enough to reach beyond the walls of their town? The answer loomed like the setting sun, a promise of hope, but also uncertainty. Just how far could she take this newfound courage? What lay ahead could change everything. As they drove home, the soft hum of the engine filled the air, a stark contrast to the swirling thoughts in Mia's mind. Each turn of the wheel felt like a step further into uncharted waters. She longed for the comfort of certainty, but instead found herself standing on the edge of something vast and unknown. Calvin and Laura engaged in lively chatter, fueled by the excitement of their plans. But all Mia could think about was the weight of her next move. What if I mess up? She murmured, barely loud enough for herself to hear. What was that, honey? Calvin asked, glancing in the rearview mirror. Nothing, Mia replied quickly, forcing a smile. But inside, doubt crept in like a shadow. The vision of a workshop, a video series, it was exhilarating, yet terrifying. What if nobody showed up? Or worse, what if they did but didn't connect with her message? Arriving home, the familiar scent of baked cookies wafted through the house. Her dad was already in the kitchen, while her mom hollered from the living room, Mia. How was the meeting? Mia slipped inside, leaving the door open behind her. It was good. Really good. I think we might start a workshop. The excitement bubbled up, but a knot of anxiety twisted in her stomach. That's fantastic, sweetie. Her mom said, her voice laced with encouragement. You're such an inspiration. But inspirations came with expectations, didn't they? And those could weigh heavily. Mia couldn't shake the feeling that every word she'd spoken was now looping in the air, waiting for action. Later that night, she lay in bed staring at the ceiling, illuminated by the moonlight. Her phone buzzed beside her, a message from Laura. Let us meet tomorrow to brainstorm ideas for the video. This is gonna be epic. Mia felt a spark of joy beneath her worries. Planning with Laura would be fun. They could bounce ideas off each other and ignite that energy. She quickly typed back, yes. Can't wait. As she drifted off to sleep, thoughts of planning tangled with dreams of what could be. Would they really make a difference? Could their ideas potentially inspire change on a larger scale? The next morning brought a bustling vibration of energy. Mia's excitement mixed with trepidation as she prepared for their meeting. The world felt oddly vibrant, colors sharper and sounds clearer, a palpable reminder that she had a voice now, one she needed to harness. When Laura arrived, her face was lit up with enthusiasm. Okay, let's create something that'll knock their socks off. Mia found herself smiling, swept away in Laura's infectious energy. They spread out papers, scribbling ideas, sketching out plans, their voices merging in a rhythm of hope. Hours flew by, leaving them with an impressive range of concepts. They were crafting something more than just a video, they were creating a movement. Yet, even amid their excitement, a quiet voice whispered in the back of Mia's head, warning her of the pressures that lay ahead. Then, as if summoned by the universe, Mia's phone rang. Glancing at the screen, she saw it was Calvin. "Hey, Dad." She answered. "Mia, I just found out that some kids at your school are interested in joining the workshop. They want to share their stories too." Her heart soared, only to be tethered by an immediate concern. What if it's too much for me to handle? What if Mia, listen. You have what it takes. You're not alone in this. Remember, you're creating a space for all of you to grow, Calvin encouraged. As they hung up, Mia clasped her hands together, feeling a pulse of determination surging. This was happening. She wouldn't just be speaking for herself, she would be amplifying the voices of so many who needed to be heard, but as she looked out the window at the sprawling sky, one terrifying thought came to her mind: what if her vision wasn't as powerful as everyone believed it could be? What if the world wasn't ready to listen? Taking a deep breath, she made a decision. She would confront those fears head-on. Her voice, their voices, mattered. No matter the aftermath. As she and Laura dove back into planning, a mighty storm brewed. Outside, thunder rumbling like the anxiety inside her chest. It felt like a clear sign that something monumental was on the horizon, and she was sure if it was something she could face, what lay ahead would test her courage in ways she never expected. Would she rise to the challenge? The storm continued to rage outside, pouring rain against the windows with a rhythm that almost matched the beating of Mia's heart. Each thunderclap seemed to echo her doubts, but she tried to block them out. She had work to do, and with Laura by her side, the flood of ideas flowed freely. Okay, how about we start with an introduction video? We could share our own stories, make it personal, Laura suggested, her eyes bright with optimism as she scribbled on a notepad. Mia nodded, her fingers drumming lightly on the table. And we can have the kids share too. I want them to feel seen, feel like they belong in this. Yes. Laura exclaimed. Let us emphasize the community aspect. We all have a story, and combining them will create this powerful tapestry. The ideas were bouncing around the room, sparking laughter and excitement. The storm seemed to cast a magical spell over their brainstorming session, and for a brief moment, Mia felt invincible. It was exhilarating, diving deep into the vision they were building together. But just as quickly as the energy surged, a shadow slipped back into her thoughts. What if this was all foolish? She felt the familiar tightness in her chest, creeping in at the edges of their enthusiasm. You okay? Laura's voice cut through her thoughts, filled with concern. You look a little pale. Yeah, just thinking, Mia admitted, forcing a smile. I guess I worry about how it'll all play out. What if they don't connect with us? Hey! Laura lifted her hands in a mock-serious manner. You're going to be amazing. We're going to touch hearts. Just think about what our own stories mean to us. Mia took a deep breath. You're right. It's about authenticity, right? She squinted at her friend. But what if we're not enough? Laura leaned in, her expression earnest. Mia, I think what we're creating is something real. It's not about being perfect. It's about sharing and being genuine. You've got that in spades. Mia felt a flicker of warmth at Laura's words. They were both restless dreamers, hoping to carve out a space for honesty in a world that sometimes felt so full of noise. Maybe, just maybe, they could make an impact. As they resumed their planning, the storm outside began to settle. The patter of the rain turned soft, a calming reminder that even chaos can lead to serenity. Mia looked around, catching glimpses of their scattered notes, the tiny wonders they were crafting together. Suddenly, her phone buzzed again, sharp and jarring. She picked it up, a message from one of the kids who had expressed interest in the workshop. "Hey, Mia. Can I come over to talk about ideas? I can't wait to share my story." Her heart raced. This was happening. It felt like a door had opened, leading her deeper into this journey. But at the same time, an underlying fear crept up again. Would she be able to support them? Did she have the capacity to take on their truths, their struggles, alongside her own? "Did you get a text?" Laura asked, breaking Mia's concentration. "Yeah, they want to share their ideas," Mia replied, her voice barely above a whisper. Laura grinned. "That's awesome. See? This is bigger than just us. It's happening, and you have to trust yourself. You don't have to do it all alone." Taking in the moment, Mia felt a swell of emotion. She was stepping into uncharted territory, and the stakes were high, but maybe the fear was a part of the process. Maybe it would push her to grow, to rise above her doubts, but as excitement danced in her chest, a new thought rushed in, demanding her attention. What if she wasn't the one who needed to lead? What if there was so much more to learn from these kids? With determination mingled with apprehension, she replied to the message, suggesting they meet soon. They would discuss ideas, but more importantly, they would share their experiences. The moment felt pivotal. As they wrapped up their session, Mia turned to Laura. "I'm ready for this. I just hope they want to share their stories. I hope they trust me. Look at what you're doing. You're inviting them into a space that belongs to all of you. You'll be breaking down walls together. That's powerful." With that, a realization settled within Mia. Inspired by her friends, she took a step forward, ready to meet the moment, yet an apprehensive thought floated to the surface: what if the stories they shared were more profound, more painful, than she could handle? As the rain eased and the sun broke through, Mia felt both anxious and invigorated, holding on to a flicker of hope in a world of uncertainty. Would she be able to shoulder the weight of those stories and emerge stronger? Or would it become too overwhelming, leaving her lost in the tide of their experiences? The next morning, Mia woke to a sliver of sunlight breaking through her curtains. The storm had finally passed, but the air held a palpable energy, as if the world was still buzzing from the wild night. She got out of bed with her heart racing. Today was going to be different. Today was a step forward. She quickly texted Laura, asking if they could meet earlier. The anticipation thrummed in her veins. After a quick shower, she dressed with purpose, pulling on a simple but vibrant sweater that matched her mood. Something in her felt lighter, more resolute. When Mia arrived at Laura's, she found her friend already deep into her notes, surrounded by colorful sticky notes like a burst of creativity come to life. "You're here." Laura beamed, her enthusiasm bright enough to chase away any lingering doubt. "I couldn't wait," Mia said, her voice full of excitement. "I'm ready for this. I can feel it." They sat around the table, and Laura opened up her laptop. "Okay, let us finalize our ideas for how to involve the kids. I hope we can set the stage right for today." As they worked through their plans, Mia felt more at ease. They brainstormed activities that could foster connection among the kids: a storytelling circle, art projects, and perhaps even a group mural. The more they discussed, the more she felt this sense of purpose swelling within her. And then the doorbell rang. Laura's eyes sparkled as she shot Mia a knowing look. "Looks like we've got company." Mia's stomach fluttered with nervousness, but it was intertwined with a surge of excitement. The kids were arriving, and with them, their stories. They quickly collected themselves, ready to welcome the new faces. As the door swung open, a small group of eager kids spilled into the room. Their smiles lit the space, each one uncertain yet hopeful. Mia took a deep breath and knelt to their level. "Hey everyone. I'm so glad you're here. You're all part of something special today." They shuffled in, their chatter filling the air and slowly easing Mia's concerns. She watched them settle on the floor, eyes glimmering with curiosity. Their vibrant energy began to mix with her own, awakening something in her she didn't know she needed. "Let us start by introducing ourselves," Laura suggested. "We want to know all about you and your stories." Mia felt the excitement ripple through her as each child spoke, sharing bits of themselves. Stories unfolded about family, dreams, and fears, some light-hearted, others more serious. One girl, Ava, raised a small hand, her voice trembling slightly as she began to talk about her journey through bullying. Mia's heart ached, each word wrapping around her emotions tightly. Here was the raw honesty she longed for, but could she really handle this? Yet as she listened, she realized the power of those narratives. The courage it took for each child to step forward, to share their truth, changed the landscape of the room. This was what her own doubts had tried to mask: an opportunity for unity, for healing. "Thank you for sharing, Ava," Mia said gently. "What you just shared is so important. You are not alone." The moment hung in the air, heavy but hopeful. The kids nodded, some wiping away tears, but there was strength in vulnerability. Mia felt her own fears begin to dissolve. All these souls had come together, and together they could lift each other up. As the session continued, laughter and tears blended into a beautiful symphony of connection. Mia realized she was not just a guide, she was part of this powerful tapestry of stories, woven together with resilience and shared experiences. "Okay, so what's next?" Laura asked, energized by the unfolding moments around them. Mia smiled, but her heart was tumbling inside. "We keep going, we invite more stories, more voices," she articulated, each word thick with passion, but in the back of her mind, a thought lingered. It was clear that some stories would be tougher than others, and she could already sense that today was only the beginning. Would she be ready when the weight of heavier truths would come crashing in? As they continued to share, one of the boys looked at Mia with hopeful expectation. "Can we do this every week?" A lump formed in her throat. "I'd love that," Mia replied. But as she said it, she wondered if she could sustain this energy, this responsibility, week after week. The mix of fear and determination gripped her heart. This moment was a step forward, but another hurdle awaited. What if she couldn't continue to be a beacon when the tides turned again? Mia could feel the room shift. The children's hopeful faces were filled with eagerness, and she was reminded of her own childhood, of the moments when she had been too afraid to share her own story. But not today, today was different. "Let us do it every week," Laura said, eyes glimmering with excitement. She reached for her phone to note the suggestion. "We can make this a regular thing, a safe space for everyone." The kids clapped, their joy ringing out like a melody. A few shouted their agreement, and that infectious energy lit up Mia's heart. Maybe this was exactly what they all needed. But somewhere deep inside, she felt a knot of apprehension tighten. "Can we do art projects today?" asked Lucas, a boy with bright blue sneakers and a vivid imagination. "I want to draw my dream for the future." "Absolutely!" Mia exclaimed, her heart swelling. "Let us have everyone share what their dream is while we create. That way, the mural can reflect all of us." As they gathered art supplies, Mia looked around the room, her soul lifting with each child's eager movements. Colors spilled from her hands as she handed out paints and brushes, watching them transform blank canvases into vibrant depictions of their hopes. Ava painted a sun, a symbol of her strength after the storms she faced. A boy named Malik crafted a rocket ship, declaring he would be the first astronaut of his family. Each child's artwork spoke of resilience, dreams etched into the fabric of the mural, yet amid the laughter and creativity, Mia could feel how easily fear loomed. Would their stories always be this light? What if darker tales surfaced? How would she support them? Mia busied herself with supplies, biting her lip as the chatter swirled around her. Laura caught her eye, stepping closer. "You all right?" she whispered. The concern in her friend's gaze nearly shattered Mia's composure. Mia forced a smile. "Just thinking," she admitted. "I hope we're really making a difference." Laura nodded, brushing off the worries with a wave of her hand. "You are. Just look at their faces." Taking a deep breath, Mia focused again on the children. They were joyfully engaged, their energy a reflection of the connection blossoming in that room. As they painted, laughter bubbled up, filling any crevices of doubt. After a quick break, they sat together in a circle to share what their paintings represented. Mia listened, spellbound, as stories flowed effortlessly. They shared fears, dreams, what made them proud, each revelation stitched them closer together. When it was her turn, Mia felt the weight of their anticipation. She took a deep breath, remembering her own long-time struggle to embrace her voice. "I guess I was scared too, a lot of times," she confided. "But being here with all of you is helping me learn that sharing is brave, and it connects us. I believe we can lift each other." A hush settled like a delicate blanket. Mia felt warmth radiating from the kids, wrapping around her. Their acceptance and understanding rooted her feet firmly on the ground. Then came a soft voice from the back. "Miss Mia, you can be brave too." It was Ava, her eyes shimmering with a sincerity that struck Mia to her core. In that moment, every doubt cracked further. Before anyone could say anything else, Mia heard the door creak open, and in walked a figure with an air of authority, a woman in a crisp suit followed by a tall man in an expensive jacket. The air shifted again, the energy by the door palpable, drawing everyone's attention. "Excuse me," the woman said, scanning the room until her gaze landed on Mia. "Sorry to interrupt, but we were told there was an important meeting happening here." Mia felt the charged silence wrapped in uncertainty. The man stepped forward, a proud glint in his eyes, and suddenly, Mia recalled every story she had heard about biases that hit too close to home. "Is this where the kids share their dreams?" he asked, a note of genuine interest in his voice. But Mia felt the sparks of apprehension rise again. This was unexpected. What was about to unfold? And why were these strangers here now? As they faced each other, Mia couldn't shake the feeling that this was about to change everything. The air crackled with tension as Mia locked eyes with the suited woman. There was an unspoken question hanging between them, and Mia felt the weight of the moment pressing down on her. Would these newcomers understand what this space had become? Yes. "We're sharing dreams," Mia replied, her voice steadier than she felt. The children's excited murmur surrounded her like a shield, but she could sense the uncertainty creeping back in. "I'm Miss Hargrove, and this is Mr. Laird," the woman introduced herself, gesturing to the man beside her. "We work with local community programs and wanted to see how we can support your initiative." The children perked up, leaning forward as if hungry for validation. Mia felt her heart race. Support? Was this what they needed? She glanced at Laura, who raised her eyebrows in surprise. "That would be amazing." Laura interjected, her excitement bubbling over again. "These kids have so much to share. We're trying to give them a platform to express themselves." "Exactly," Mia added, her pulse quickening with hope. "We want to foster their creativity, help them understand their own strength. But we also worry about addressing deeper issues they might face." "Deeper issues?" Mr. Laird's expression grew serious, his eyes scanning the artwork adorning the walls. "You mean challenges related to race, background, or yes?" The weight of that word hung heavy in the room. Suddenly, Mia felt exposed, as if she'd revealed a secret hidden deep within her own heart. She looked at the kids, each shining in their individuality, shining in their truth. If someone could see the beauty in all of this, perhaps they could band together to create real change. Malik raised his hand, his voice breaking through the tension. "I want to be an astronaut, but it's hard to see kids like me in space." I don't know if I can. Ms. Hargrove knelt beside him, her eyes softening. Malik, you can be anything you set your mind to. This is exactly why we're here. We want to help kids like you believe that your dreams are valid, that your future can be bright. The room filled with a wave of hope, but Mia still sensed the tricky currents swirling beneath the surface. Could they truly change perceptions and biases? Feeling the embers of an idea ignite within her, she asked, what if we collaborated? Perhaps we could host workgroups or workshops to empower the kids even more. Mr. Laird nodded, the corners of his lips curling into a smile. That sounds like a fantastic idea. We have resources that can help expand this program. We believe in meeting kids where they are and lifting them up, not just with words but with actionable support. As the conversation flowed, Mia felt the knots of worry loosen. The kids' laughter danced alongside the serious discussions, creating a harmonious balance. Ideas bounced back and forth like a game of ping-pong, invigorating the space with possibilities, but then, just as they began to outline plans for future meetings, Ava hesitated. What if our dreams aren't enough? The child's innocent question stung, bringing silence back to the room. Mia's heart sank. Ava, your dreams are always enough. They're your dreams. They matter because you matter. Ava cocked her head, confusion mingling with an underlying fear. But what if no one listens? Just as Mia opened her mouth to reassure her, an urgent ringing broke through the moment. Ms. Hargrove's phone buzzed insistently, pulling her attention away. She frowned at the screen, the serious look returning. Please excuse me. She stepped aside, murmuring into her phone. The energy shifted again, leaving Mia anxiously gazing at the children, their faces now clouded with uncertainty. She could feel their collective worry. Would their newfound hopes and dreams shatter under the weight of the world's biases? As Miss Hargrove hung up, her expression was grave. I really must go, but I'll be back soon. There's a situation we need to address right away. Leaving uncertainty and curiosity behind, Mia's hopes dangled in the air. What was happening? Would everything they had built come crashing down? At the moment of some unforeseen challenge, the children looked back at her, eyes wide with questions. Mia felt the gravity of their trust weighing on her. What could she do to reassure them that together they could weather any storm? As the door closed behind Miss Hargrove, Mia knew she needed to find a way to ease their fears. In the quiet that followed, she took a deep breath, preparing to lead them once more through the fog of uncertainty toward the light of belief, but deep down, she could feel that this was only the beginning. What would they uncover when the world started to crack open around them? Mia stood at the front of the room, her heart racing against the silence that had swallowed them all. The children's worried eyes stared back at her, and she felt the stakes rise higher. Would they trust her when everything seemed so unstable, when the very adults who came to help now appeared burdened by darker shadows? Hey, guys, she started softly, moving closer to them. I know things seem a little scary right now because Miss Hargrove had to leave. But that doesn't mean we stop dreaming. If anything, we should be dreaming even bigger. A few giggles broke through, and Mia was grateful for the lightness. She turned to the large mural on the wall, a colorful depiction of a rise over a mountain, with kids standing proudly at the peak. Look at that. It's beautiful, right? Those kids didn't get to the top by sitting around. They climbed together. And you know what? Our dreams don't just rest on our shoulders. They're a part of something bigger. Malik, leaning back in his chair, squinted slightly, his brow furrowing. But what if our climb is too steep? What if no one helps us get there? Mia knelt down so she was eye level with him, forcing herself to meet his gaze. Climbing can feel hard, Malik, but you're not alone. You have each other. Those mountains out there. They're filled with people who want to help. We just have to find them. Suddenly, Ava piped up. Are we really going to do this together? Her little voice held a mix of skepticism and hope, and it brought a lump to Mia's throat. Absolutely. Each workshop we plan is like stepping onto that mountain, Mia replied firmly. We'll set up meetings, talk about what's important to you, and maybe even show off your art. You all have so much to share. Your voices matter so much more than you know. Just then, the door creaked open again, an interruption that held everyone's breath. It was Miss Hargrove, looking slightly frazzled, but there was purpose in her eyes. Sorry everyone, she called, rushing back in. I need to give you something important. She held up a document, wrinkled around the edges, but it was undoubtedly a treasure to Mia's hopeful heart. This is a grant proposal I was just finishing up. It's to support programs like yours. I can't promise it's approved yet, but we have a strong chance. The room buzzed with excitement, energy rekindled. Mia's heart flared with both elation and uncertainty. Was this truly a turning point or another fleeting moment of hope? Why would they choose us? Malik's question drifted back into the air, cloaked in doubt. Mia took a step closer to him. Because they need to hear your dreams. Together, we can make ourselves impossible to ignore. We'll make sure they see the brilliance each of you has to offer. We have something special here. Yes, the world has its challenges, but we can shine bright enough to illuminate even the darkest paths. As the kids mulled over her words, Mia glanced at Mr. Laird and Ms. Hargrove. Their nods of affirmation filled her with a new determination. She had to keep pressing forward, for them and for herself. But just as the atmosphere began to settle back into hope, Ms. Hargrove shared a warning. We're facing obstacles ahead. Some people want to see this initiative succeed. The children fell silent, remembering the weight of doubt they had felt before. But Mia wasn't about to let that be their defining moment. That's when we have to stand stronger. Change isn't easy, but when we believe in something together we can move mountains. With their eyes glued to her, Mia realized she had lit a spark of resolve in them. They were ready to overcome, to share their truth. But before they could delve further into the plans, a loud crash echoed from the hallway outside. The sudden noise stole the air from the room, freezing the kids in their seats. What was that? Whispered Ava, her voice trembling. Mia's heart raced again, but this time it felt different, charged with urgency. Was this chaos simply a distraction, or was it a sign of a challenge they were yet to face? She stood taller, channeling calm as she faced her worried crew. Let's check it out together, okay? Whatever it is, we handle it together. With that, Mia reached for the doorknob, knowing that whether they walked into chaos or clarity, they would face it as a united front. A part of her pulsed with adrenaline as she pondered what awaited them outside. What challenges lay ahead, and would they be tests of their newfound strength or their dreams? As Mia turned the doorknob, her heart raced. The group huddled behind her, a mix of curiosity and uncertainty swirling in the air. With determination, she pushed the door open, stepping into the unknown. The hallway was alive with anxious chatter. A couple of parents were arguing loudly, their voices clashing like thunder. Why are we even discussing this? Shouted one man, his hands waving dramatically. This isn't how we do things around here. Things need to change. Ms. Hargrove replied, her voice firm yet steady. These kids deserve a chance to have their voices heard. Mia felt a shiver down her spine. This was the confrontation she had sensed all along. The very biases and fears that had tried to stifle her voice were now trying to suppress the voices of the children she had fought so hard to amplify. Everyone needs to listen, Mia said, surprising herself. The crowd turned to look at her. We all have something to say, and running from this only makes it worse. We're not just kids, we're passionate about our futures. A murmur of surprise rippled through the gathering. She glanced back at her friends, their eyes wide with pride and encouragement. With renewed bravery, she stepped forward, her voice stronger now. These voices matter. We want to share our dreams. We want to show that every child deserves a chance, no matter where they come from. The room held its breath. Ms. Hargrove stepped closer, her supportive presence stronger than ever. Exactly, Mia. If you look at the mural inside, these kids have shared their truths. We are standing on the edge of something incredible, but we need your support to push this forward. Together we can change perceptions, build understanding, and create a world where children thrive. Mia's words hung in the air, resonating with the pain and yearning in the hearts of everyone gathered. Conversations began to mix, some in agreement, others filled with resistance. But here was strength in the unity Mia felt. Then, Malik, with his bright blue sneakers, spoke up. This is about all of us. We want to be seen. His honesty crackled through the room, catching the attention of every adult. A few parents shifted uncomfortably, but others could see the truth in Malik's eyes. What is the point of silence? Ava added, her small voice cutting through the noise. If we don't speak, nothing gets better. Their words struck like arrows, piercing through the weight of skepticism. Faces that once looked dismissive began to soften, muscles and shoulders relaxing. Across the room, one woman stepped forward, her face burning bright with realization. Actually, I've never thought about it that way. It's true. Kids are often overlooked. It's time we change that. The crowd murmured in agreement, but there remained a few reluctant voices within the opposition. They would have to confront their own biases, and that was not going to be simple. Today, we begin something revolutionary, Mia declared. Not just for us but for the generations to come. Support us, encourage us, and let us create a future where everyone's dreams share the same space. As Mia finished speaking, the room erupted into applause, a wave of sound that swept through the discord. Ms. Hargrove and Mr. Laird exchanged amused, proud looks, fueled by their collective hopes. Let us do this together, Ms. Hargrove echoed, stepping into the charge. Various programs and resources are ready. But we need all of you to believe that this is worthwhile. Mia's breath steadied. Could this be the pivotal moment she longed for? Could this spark not just change for her, but ignite hope across their community? Yes. Mia shouted, invigorated. Let us build that bridge of trust, break down the barriers, and elevate every single voice. Together, we're unstoppable. The resolve in the room intensified like an electric current. Gazes locked in unity, parents and children alike began a conversation that had been too long unspoken. One by one, they began sharing stories from their lives, creating connections woven through shared experiences and dreams. In that moment, Mia felt the weight of their worries evaporate. She realized just how powerful this movement had become. They were a family forged in dreams, breaking down oppressive silence with their collective voices. As the meeting unraveled into more discussions, Mia glanced around, soaking in the vibrant energy. They would face challenges ahead, without a doubt. But today, here and now, with every heartfelt story exchanged, they had built beginnings. Let us make the first workshop, then the video series, come alive in the community. Laura said, her excitement infectious. Yes. We'll connect everyone who wants to take part. Mia added passionately. With the sun setting outside, casting golden hues through the windows, the doors of possibilities swung wide open. And as Mia stood there, surrounded by her friends, laughing and living, she knew their dreams were brighter than any darkness. They belonged to a world waiting to listen, letting that warmth fill her heart. Mia took a breath and knew they were just getting started. Now is the time for action. You need to subscribe now to our channel so you don't miss the next exclusive stories. This is the moment to show your support. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm that drives awareness to these crucial tales. Comment your reactions and feelings about this transformative ending. Your voice matters just as much. And don't wait not even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to see and feel this transformation. Only true fans understand the importance of supporting the channel through these actions.